Terracross racing is just all about the competition.
When I'm sitting there in the starting line and that flag's about to drop, just hoping to be the first one to that corner.
When the green flag drops, it all changes.
You get all pumped up and excited and you start going fast.
You're out there battling the course as well as the competitors. It's really all on the driver.
I just have a natural drive to win.
But you're definitely going to see some aggressive racing all weekend.
We'll just see who can keep it on all four.
The sleepy little town of Elk River, Minnesota has been woken up. Welcome everybody to a new season of racing at the Mystic Terracross Championship. Hi, I'm Tess Sewell along with Paul Thacker, and do we have some racing in store for you here today? The Terracross Championship, it's got bigger and badder this year. How big and how bad? Well, check out this new 1000cc machine from Polaris, Paul.
You know, Tess, once again, Polaris absolutely knocked it out of the park with this new 1000. Last year we were ripping the 900s, about 85 horsepower. This year we're well over 100 horse. I mean, that's crazy. And with the new shock package, these things, I mean, they have truck shocks. It's basically like a mini trophy truck.
But it's not just about the 1000 cc's. There are lots of other four-wheel machines ready to do battle here on this newly designed track at ERX Motor Park. And for more about the track, let's go to Chris Brandt. Chris.
Thanks, Tess. I'll be racing the new Polaris RZR here later this afternoon, but right now I'm standing in the carnage zone. Big tractor tires, logs, rocks, mud. This is where these quad racers are going to make all the passes. This is going to be the key point on the track. The most dynamic part of the Terracross will happen right here. I'll be your trackside reporter.
Thanks, Chris. We'll be looking forward to those reports on our Pro Quad Series coming up later in the program, but first, the pros and the amateurs together in a new class, the GBC Pro-Am Light side-by-side category. They are racing for eligibility to get into the Pro 1000 class at Heydays coming up later in the series. Paul, this should be a great race.
You know, it definitely, these guys are vying for position. They want to be racing with the big boys. You know that they're all nerves already. You know, they're looking for a good start.
And this guy here, Cody Gorsinger, an amateur. He's racing alongside guys like Jeff Lloyd and Andy Bizek, who are racing pro last year. Remember, they're trying to get a berth at Heydays, comes up later in the season. They want to race the 1000s. And the starter has them off and going. And who's going to bang it into the first corner? Looks like Gorsinger got a great start.
The 140 hole shot inside line definitely takes control right off the first corner.
And good clean racing there through corner number one. We've seen certainly earlier today a lot of beating and banging and spells, and wow, going wide there on the corner.
Look at the lead he's already pulling, and we're just 3 or 4 corners into this first race.
Gorsinger just arcing it around that corner. Wow. Oh, coming over those big tractor tires.
Little excited, little excited.
Great race right from the get-go for Cody Gorsinger in that 140. Lloyd and Bizek are chasing him down, and everybody is just feeling the electricity here in the early series.
The rookie is definitely showing these veterans what's up right now. Look at, I mean, he's just pulling away.
It's incredible, you know, in these evenly matched machines, the fact that he can get so far out in front, and you've got these wily veterans of Lloyd and Bizek just trying to chase him down. A surprise for those two guys.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think they thought they were gonna, you know, step out front in a big hurry, and now they're chasing the taillights of this young man.
And look at them coming through there. You see the 5.52 of Jeff Lloyd, and that is Bizek right behind him. And I cannot get over the gap that Gorsinger has already put on the rest of the field.
He is absolutely nailing his marks, hitting his corners. Other than that first little jump he almost endoed, he looks pretty much flawless.
And you can really see when you look into that side-by-side how much Gorsinger has to work that wheel. You really see he's fighting this thing the whole way, Paul.
Exactly. These things, nearly, if you let them, they'll drive themselves, and usually drive themselves right off the track. So you have to be on point all the time. It's not easy.
There you see the 5.52 of Lloyd, and That is Andy Bizek right behind him. Wow, there's a charge. This is a run for second position. Wow, and nosing over those tires again. That looks like you really have to time that jump right.
That was a tough little section right there. If you hit it too hard, you're going on your top. You hit it too soft, guys are catching you behind.
And remember, this is the Pro-Am category, the mixture of pros and amateurs. It's all about getting a spot in the Pro 1000 class when we get to heydays later on in the season. And you saw there the cross flags, Paul.
Yeah, Cody Gorsinger, he is stoked to see the half flags. I'm curious what he's thinking in there. Is he thinking, hey, I've got this? Is he nervous? Man, as a rookie,
He's
it's
like,
hard
why
to say.
am I so far ahead of the other two pro guys? You know, they were competing the pro class last year, and here they are chasing down the rookie.
You know, the two vets banging together is definitely going to let our young man Cody get an even larger lead. Not that he really needs it at this point.
Yeah, I know, and if they are banging on each other too hard, that could let somebody else through the door too, so they have to be careful not to really race too hard and leave the door open.
Absolutely. You can see that pack, other than Cody out front, that pack's pretty tight.
And look at that lead, over 7 seconds right now for the amateur, the rookie, Cody Gorsinger. Is just running away with this race right now.
Impressive driving. I mean, that goes to show, like you said before, these things are bone stock. They're all the same. It's the driving that's got him out front.
And Bizek in the green machine there is looking for a way past Jeff Lloyd, but every time he tries to get to that inside corner, Lloyd just shuts the door.
Grizzled veteran versus grizzled veteran. Those guys are banging.
So there you see the white flag is out for Cody Gorsinger. That means one more lap, and he has this race.
Wow, he is just running away.
Look at the gap. I mean, you can't even see the other guys coming into the frame on your television screen. So Cody Gorsinger looks like he will be the guy who is eligible to race in our Polaris Pro Razor 1000 class at heydays coming up later in the season. Paul, he is going to be hunted for sponsors now.
Yeah, he's going to definitely be printing some resumes and making some phone calls. I'm super impressed with this kid's first race. I mean, nerves of steel, hit his marks, and you know he's cruising to victory.
And look at this, he's pointing at the stands.
I think that's his family over there in the jacked up crazy truck thing. So
that's
he's stoked.
Takes the checkered flag. Gorsinger wins this one, followed by Jeff Floyd and Andy Bizek. The grizzled veterans just couldn't do it on the day.
Those guys were absolutely having a blast, so you think?
Let's take a look back at the start here, Paul.
You can see Cody right off the bat. He got a good start, that inside line, and he just basically pushes everyone out, takes control in the first corner inside, and from there, the rest is history. Checks out.
Look at that. He was not intimidated at all, and this was the moment he was looking for. The checkered flag for the 140 of Cody Gorsinger. What a great race.
Pumped that kid is.
So there, Gorsinger over Lloyd and Bizek, and coming up next, the category that Gorsinger was fighting so hard to get into, our Polaris Pro Razor 1000 class. The big boys with guys like Doug Gust are coming up to the line to do battle. Don't miss it.
Mystic Lubricants Terracross Championship on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Mystic Lubricants, specially formulated for lubrication domination. Visit mysticlubes.com. And by the Polaris Razor.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Mystic Lubricants Terracross Championship, Terra in the Pit. We're about to show you a new class, a stock class, with our Polaris Pro Razor 1000s.
I love this kind of racing because everybody's on a level playing field. Nobody, you know, it's not who's got the most money and put the most money into the machine. They're all stock. We're all running the same vehicle.
Pretty excited this year for the 1000s. Got a lot more power, a lot more suspension.
We've got the same tires, same parts, so it's really shows who's the best driver out there.
Usually there's a tire spec or a shock spec or a minimum weight or all that. You know, there's rules, but never ever where you take 20 of the same car or the same machine and put it into a race And all thing is separating it is talent.
It definitely is gonna show who the better rider is, I guess. Show your experience, show your race ability, and also make for a really good show, because it's just gonna be, gotta pour your talent out there.
A new category explained by the races themselves. And the big question to everybody here is who is going to shine in 2013? For more on that, let's go down to Misha Johnson.
1 year ago, this race was a mix between the veterans and the youth. A local driver, Andrew Carlson, advanced from the Pro-Ams to the Pro Finals and surprised the entire pro field by winning this race right here at Elk River. Now, this is the first race of the season, new machines, anything can happen in the world of racing. But keep your eye on the young gun, Andrew Carlson.
Thanks, Misha. Carlson is going to have to fight out of the second row. The way we do this, 4 rows of racing, a staggered start. The first 2 rows go, and then the second 2 rows get the green flag.
You know, Tess, I'm super excited to see these Polaris RZR 1000s rip, but I'm also really excited about seeing talented guys like RJ Anderson. I mean, he's had a lot of time behind the wheel of a trophy truck, so I'm curious to see how that's going to relate to this course and these machines.
Well, you know, we keep saying that the amazing suspension package that these things have on them. Just look at the amount of travel that you have now in a UTV side-by-side. So Brian Rust, our starter, shaking his head. He's getting him ready. The green flag is about to fly, and we are racing. Here we go into the first corner. Who's coming out in front?
It looks like Chad Ragland. That inside line once again gets the whole shot.
So Ragland get the whole shot. Zach Sikowski was trying for the inside line there, but RJ Anderson went right by him.
You can see in this corner we've got 2 distinct lines. As you see right there, Andrew Carlson takes that outside line. We'll have to see how the race develops, if it's going to be fast.
Remember,
no.
That is not what we're supposed to see. So red flag on the course now. That was Chris Brandt and Daryl Wrath tangled up in that corner, and that did not look good.
That's not the way they're supposed to be driving.
Oh, wow. Both guys are upside down, tangled up, and that's pretty much going to end their race. What happened here, Paul?
You know, everything looks good, and then it looks like Chris just came in a little bit hot and got right in the back of Daryl, and, well, you can see that's the result, upside down.
Oh, wow, and look at how aggressive that was for Daryl Wrath. He just got shaken up. And it's a great onboard here. This is Daryl Wrath's onboard.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. That is a ride.
Oh, wow. That is a pretty violent crash. That's not something you want to be doing.
And here the onboard, the medical crew helping Daryl getting out. Good to see he's standing up, but he's going to be sore tonight after a crash like that.
I mean, that seat laying there just gives you an idea how violent that flip was.
And there we see they're trying to extricate Chris Brandt now out of his vehicle. So getting the harness off. Let's take a look at this again. On board with Chris right now.
Look at how much how much English there is on the steering wheel. It's just constant, back and forth. Everything looks good to this point. We're coming over the finish line. Just can't quite get on the binders quick enough.
That was interesting.
Wow. Interesting is not the way most people would describe it. The ice pack on Daryl Wrath's neck. We'll be back with an update and more side-by-side racing when we return. If you like it rough, tough, and muddy, then head on over to TerracrossRacing.com for all the inside scoop on our top competitors and the Terracross Championship. Welcome back, everyone. Getting ready here for the restart of our Polaris RZR 1000 Pro Stock. A full restart because we didn't get a full lap in. And here they go. Daryl Wrath, Chris Brandt are both out, and Wrath is going to have to get himself ready for our Pro Quad category coming up later.
And a massage, probably, I think.
Oh, man, but look at this. RJ Anderson just blasted right off the front, and we're on board right there with Andrew Carlson. See how he's working that wheel.
I tell you, that
it just, until you're on board with these things, you have no, it just doesn't do it justice how rough this track is.
Wow, I love that shot. Inside to outside line for Carlson there, but RJ Anderson going over those massive tires. We saw how hard it is to negotiate your way over those things in our earlier light category.
Look at how well these things get through that whoop section. I mean, they just soak up the bumps like a trophy truck.
And RJ Anderson, trophy truck driver, is out in front, and he has got a pack chasing him down. Let's look at this. Chad Ragland 2.2 seconds behind him, but I'm looking back through the field. You see the 4th place quad right there. That is Dana Creech. Creech looked incredibly fast in all of the training and qualifying, so I'm expecting him to try and give RJ a run for his money.
He's got a little bit of work to do. I mean, just watching RJ, he's looking really smooth. You know, he's hitting all his marks again, cornering. I mean, the guy definitely looks like he's a veteran.
And there is Creech in that orange helmet with no roof. In front of him is Zach Zakowski. Zakowski, again, someone who raced well last year and certainly has shown some shine here at ERX this weekend.
Here we see Andrew Carlson. He's running 5th, but he's with the pack, so he's looking pretty good.
And Carlson is being chased down. He breathed upon, I would say, by digger Doug Gust, so he's going to have to watch his 6 too. But so far, RJ Anderson just looks like this is so easy for him. Look at the gap he's already put on the field.
It's about 1.5 seconds a lap he's pulling away at this point. That's pretty impressive. I mean, these are stock machines. They're all the same.
And a big battle there with Ragland and Zach Zakowski. Here you see them jumping up the hill there. Dana Creech, I think, is waiting for the two of them to battle and make a mistake.
Absolutely.
So he can find a way through.
Yeah, he's just kind of watching those guys battle each other, waiting for his spot.
There's Doug Gust. You see the blue fire suit of Gust right behind Carlson there, and he's kind of biding his time. He is the definition of a wily veteran.
Yeah, you know, I'm not sure if Doug's too used to being this far. He's usually up front. He's kind of back in the pack a little bit.
And again, these are new machines. This is the launch of the machine this year. You won't have seen these around until now, folks. This is the onboard with Doug Gust.
Look at him just bouncing around. Wow. Takes the outside line. It's a fast line. You see him look over, make sure he's got room to pass.
And there's Zach Zakowski, does the uphill jump. Oh, look, Dana Creech went through on the inside there. We missed that move on Ragland, and Ragland's getting all tied up in traffic behind him.
Wow, that was a great move on that inside by Creech.
And there, Andrew Carlson looked like he'd slipped past Chad Ragland too, but now Creech is going to work on Zach Zakowski for 2nd place. Meanwhile, RJ Anderson, he's just flying away from the pack.
Chad Ragland was giving some hand signs there. I'm not sure what that was all about.
So let's look at the differential. 8 seconds right now back to Zach Zakowski. On board with Andrew Carlson, who had such a great race here in Elk River last year. He won this category. Big surprise to everybody, but a lot of promise.
Definitely. No, he's a young kid. He'll be back at the top in no time for sure.
So there, Zach Zakowski, Dana Creech fighting it. Carlson is right behind them. And you can see how these machines just fly up that hill with the suspension.
They just drive so smooth. It's really impressive. Oh, what do we have here?
Oh, he's going for it. Creech takes the inside.
Owns it. He owned it. That was fantastic pass.
So remember, he was just waiting for Zakowski and Ragland to make some kind of mistake that would let him through. Now we'll see if he can hold his position and chase down RJ Anderson.
He's got an awful lot of real estate to pull in RJ.
And there is the lonely RJ Anderson. Look at the gap. So Dana Creech, Zach Zakowski, they've both taken different lines up the hill here.
Yeah, I don't think Zach's going to quite get the drive, but you know, he's sticking on his bumper. You never know what could happen in the next few laps.
So Dana Creech now has a little clear air in front. Not as much clear air as he really wanted between he and RJ Anderson, but we've seen him, especially in those training periods, how fast he was. So he's going to try chasing RJ down now that he has no other side-by-sides to fight past.
Right, and you know, RJ got a whole shot and checked out, where Creech, he had to work his way through, you know, make some passes. So if he can lay down some good laps that are close, you know, maybe the next round we'll see those guys battle.
And there you saw Carlson still in 4th place, and you know, the other guys are just really trying to find their way through this course, find the lines, but And a lot of the guys will tell you, it changes every single lap.
Every single lap, you're exactly right. No 2 laps are the same. I mean, these are, big machines making a lot of ruts and digging up a lot of rocks. So everything's different every single lap.
So there, R.J. Anderson in that Walker Evans machine, comfortably out in front of Dana Creech, but Creech is going to try and bring that differential down. We'll see when they cross the line. Let's see how far back it is to Dana Creech.
Oh, wow. That's a pretty solid
Check
lead
this out.
he's got
What is that,
there.
10 seconds maybe? Wow, 9.2 seconds back to Creech.
Running away. Impressive drive by R.J. Anderson.
And again, we talk about how, whoa, a little sideways there for Dana
swapping.
Creech. Talked about how Anderson is comfortable in trophy trucks. He also is a champion UTV racer, these side-by-sides categories. So this is, it's nothing strange to him. He understands these machines. I just think it's the fact that how new these Polaris Razor 1000s are that there is not a lot of seat time for any of these racers.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would think that his experience in the UTV and trucks probably lends perfectly to these new racers.
And I think one of the most telling things in the series is the fact that all of the machines are equally matched. It's a stock class, so it really is all about your driving ability.
Definitely. All of RJ's experience is lending him to be able to pick his lines perfectly, and clearly it's working.
Well, he really has picked the lines, because if you look at his time per lap compared to the other guys, and a little unfair because he does have a clear path to pick, but...
Uh-oh.
Wow, Colton Moore is on his side, and you see the red flag out because he's blocking the racing line.
He's just going to pick it up himself. Don't worry about this, guys. I got it.
Wow. And Colton is known for freestyle snowmobiling and ATV, so this is new territory for him.
Absolutely, and I don't think upside down is quite what he was going for this race, but it happens.
Well, it happened to Colton Moore, caused a red flag, which means we have to restart the race. We'll restart single file this time, so Colton will head back to the start, and we'll have more side-by-side when we return. Our Polaris Pro Razor 1000 category lined up single file because of the red flag, and amazing, Paul, how a lead can evaporate in a heartbeat.
Here we go. RJ was so far out, and now he's got to earn it back.
Oh, Dana Creech looking for the inside, but RJ wasn't moving.
Showing him a tire, but RJ wasn't having it.
Well, this is where Dana Creech just hopes to keep up with R.J. Anderson and get a chance to actually race him. He's not held up by the traffic behind him, although Zakowski he's having a go.
He didn't like that pass before the red flag. He's coming back after him.
So Zach Zakowski trying to challenge Dana Creech. You can see now R.J. Anderson coming through in his machine. Dana Creech with no roof and the orange helmet right behind him. He took a look behind, though, for Zach Zakowski.
But again, even just after that quick start, it looks like RJ's already starting to pull a little bit of a lead.
There's something about the way R.J. Anderson chooses the lines that gets the maximum speed out of that machine. And it really showed lap by lap as we were running the race earlier. So this is a green-white checkered. You saw the white flag, and this is the final lap of this race. So R.J. Anderson, he is going to be hard to pass.
Looking solid. If Creech is going to make a move, he better do it quick.
And Creech looked like he was having trouble on that inside line coming up the hill. R.J. pulling away. He had at least a 9-second lead before the red flag starts, so I would say he kind of deserves to be out front.
Yeah, you just never know in racing. It's amazing how quick your lead can go with, a red flag starts the race over. It's pretty crazy.
Well, here we go. R.J. Anderson. He's making the turn for home, and he knows he's got this one. R.J. Anderson wins.
He earned it.
Dana Creech takes second, and Zach Zakowski will round out the podium. But what a great run, start to finish for the kid from Riverside, California. And there you see the thumbs up from Dana Creech.
It was start to finish.
2 restarts in the race. The second restart, we had to go single file. but that was where RJ really shined. He showed perfect racing lines and just started to pull away from Dana Creech right from the get-go. So our first Polaris Pro 1000 Razor race is in the books, and who is the power performer? Well, it has to be RJ Anderson.
You know, I mean, the guy just absolutely shredded the competition this first race. Very, very impressive.
And no matter what happened in this race, he retained his composure and kept racing right from the front. Of course, there was excitement all the way through this race. First, Brent and Daryl Wrath getting into it.
And then we've got the single file restart. Creech shows RJ Anderson a wheel, can't quite make it stick. Gave everything he had, but RJ was just too much for him.
And somehow RJ Anderson managed to find a way to keep those wheels on the ground, giving them maximum power, takes the checkered flag in our first ever Polaris Razor 1000 Pro category, and he's got to be happy as our power performer here today. And well, he's not giving up yet. He's decided to do a little bit of donuts for the fans.
Little NASCAR style. That's fantastic.
So a very happy RJ Anderson wins over Creech and Zakowski. Gust just off the podium, and Anderson is down with Misha Johnson.
All right, what an interesting race indeed. RJ, obviously you're smiling from ear to ear, but hold on, we're going to back up to the beginning of the race. Right away, out of the gate, you had that solid. You had a huge lead. So first of all, talk a little bit about, before we had the restart, what was giving you that lead? What were you doing right?
No, luckily I got an awesome start out there, and that's key to these kind of races with these guys so equally matched. We're all in bone stock XP 1000s, equally matched, so it starts huge. So I got lucky on that second restart to get out in the lead and be able to just run clean lines and get away, and then that caution came out, and I knew it was going to kill me, and I knew it was going to be a battle, but pumped I was able to still land it up here.
Yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit. So you get restarted, and now you don't have that huge radius that you did before. Now you're bumper to bumper again. What was going through your mind?
Yeah, when you're leading, the huge gap is awesome, but when you're second, he was probably so pumped to see that gap, and I knew we were going to have a battle on our hands, and I was just hoping for the best, and luckily he ran me clean. We got into it a little bit, but it's awesome to give these fans a show out here and show what these Polaris XP 1000s can do, so super fun time out here at Terracross.
Congratulations, RJ.
Thank you.
A very happy RJ Anderson. Great racing there today. Well, the big question for everybody, can Daryl Wrath shake off that crash and be ready to do battle in the Pro Quad category? Coming after the break, we visit Wrath Racing. Well, things were rocking here at the Mystic Lubricants Terracross Championship in Elk River, Minnesota. Typical Midwestern food, and of course, the Midwestern motorsports madness to cap it all off. Something for everybody here at Terracross Racing this weekend. One great thing about our Terracross competitors is the accessibility the fans get to them, and none more so than Daryl Wrath, a multi-time champion on his quad. And what makes a guy like Wrath so dominant? Let's find out in our Mystic Lubricants Path to Victory.
So this is where it all started. This is my dad. Dad pulled tractors when I was growing up. Basically, my life when I was a kid was at every county fair, every weekend. Actually, when I was 6 years old, Dad decided it was time to retire. Being 6 years old, he baited me with the thing that if he sold the tractor, I didn't want him to do it. I'll buy you a three-wheeler. So with that being said, he went and bought me that Honda ATC 90. Had a blast with it. Realized that that was my thing to do. Had so much fun out riding on the farm with it. In 1984, that was the very first three-wheeler I got that I actually got a chance to race that competitively. It evolved from that. My high school days, I ran a Tiger that was purpose-built three-wheeler, handmade here in Minnesota, and then made the transition, through college. Got into doing my own stuff, build my own parts, and that evolved in my relationship with Polaris and helped develop the Polaris Predator. We're here at my race shop. We have my son's quads. We have my quad for dirt track. We have my motocross quad that I use for practice and for training. I have my son's dirt track quad here. I have my Razor. This is where it all is, guys. This is what it takes. Everybody wants to have a cool garage. I got a shop that, we work on together. As a family, we work out here. And this is what it takes to win championships. You have to have a good foundation to win championships. This is it. Confidence is a big part of it. If a guy is comfortable out there and confident in what he's doing, he's going to go a lot faster than a guy that's not, either of those two. If you're not comfortable in your surroundings, your vehicle, confident in what you have underneath you as far as parts, you're not going to go fast. You've always seen it, the people talk about whether it's motorsports, even anything, ball and stick sports. The guy's confident, he's 100% sure in what he's done. He's done the homework. He wants to win, he's got it. Now let's go tear up the track. I work 4 hours a week just prepping myself. I work 10 to 12 hours a week prepping the machines, making sure everything's ready for the weekend. But you know what? Here's the trade-off. This is what it's all about. Time to go have some fun.
And Paul, for the Wraths racing, it really is a family affair. It's the fun on the weekends, also the business, and just great people to hang out with.
They really are amazing people. It's such a family atmosphere with those guys.
So coming up next, the Pro Quads are going to do battle on this course here at ERX, and they're going to hit those rocks for the first time.
It is deep and muddy and gnarly, and I am looking forward to some quad racing.
Well, it sounds like a whole bunch of fun. You don't want to miss it. Come back for the Fox Pro Quad Series racing when we return.
Racing Terracross on quads is brutal. There's the lines change, you have water, you have rocks, you have logs, you got jumps, you got mud, you got sand. I mean, it's tough.
It'd be really interesting to see how much load that we're putting into those handlebars and stuff when we hit some of those rocks and logs. I mean, we are hitting things 20 miles an hour, and we're shooting that 800-pound vehicle 3 feet in the air.
These quads are heavy. They're utility quads, and we're putting them through a beating, and they're tough.
So the Mystic Lubricants Terracross Championship, the Pro Quads on the line, Paul. Amazing what these machines can go through.
Tess, it blows my mind every time I see these guys race. I mean, they air these things out like they're on a sport quad or a dirt bike. It's crazy. Two
of the greatest legends in the sport are on this line. For more on that, let's check in with Misha.
I'm at the starting line of the Pro Quad 4x4 with two Terracross racers, Daryl Wrath, the Pro Quad champion, and Digger Doug Gus, the Pro side-by-side champion. Now, these guys have swapped paint and traded titles for over 20 years. Nobody wants to take second place. These guys are going toe-to-toe. Let's get this race started.
Thanks, Misha. There is Digger Doug Gus, the number 55. This guy, I mean, he is just ready to do battle any day of the week.
I'm not sure there is anything he hasn't done on a quad at this point.
And, of course, Rory Beckman, who really, I mean, he shined last year in a lot of these events, but had some challenges with machinery.
He came out swinging last year and won the opener, so I'm thinking he wants a replay from last year in this first round.
I'm sure he does. The third one on the line was Zach Sikowski, and then Jared Weckman next to him. Then it's Gaynor. And at the end of the line, Daryl Wrath has managed to make the start of this race, Paul. But what kind of condition do you think he's going to be in?
It's hard to say. It looked like he took a pretty serious tumble in the side-by-side race, so I'm not sure. We'll have to see.
So here it is on board right now with Daryl Wrath. Take a look at this.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Boom, and then goes all the way over and slaps him the other way.
Oh,
wow,
that
second hit.
Whiplash. Holy, you can just tell he's hurting right there.
And you can see he's holding his helmet. You saw the ice pack on his neck, so... But he is a warrior. He's on the line. He's ready to do battle. Here we go. The Fox Pro Quad 4x4s. Oh, and Wrath doesn't race off the line.
Last year the points race was so close for the championship. He's just out taking a start, collecting his points.
Now look at this one, though. Rory Beckman. Wow, what a great start for him. He just jumps off the line, gets in front of Doug Gust.
Look at that onboard.
I love it. Well, and look how clean it is right now. That will not be the same as we get further into this race. So the red, that is Rory Beckman in front of Zach Sikowski, and then Doug Gust in third place.
Look at this section. It's just rocks and mud and logs. I mean, that's gnarly stuff right there.
But I love this. They go into the water pit after the rocks, and the water pit, we're on board with Doug Gust right now, the water pit has tires in it, so you get even less traction.
No sense in making it easy for these. Oh, wow.
Saw there a little bit of beating and banging as they get out of the corner of that water pit in a really steep berm on the way out.
Really slippery. Chris said it earlier. That is really going to be a game changer section.
So here we go. Oh, that was Jared Weckman.
That's
in
not
the
where
game changer
That's
section.
not where he wants to be at all.
You're supposed to be on the quad, not standing next to it. So that's slowed down his charge to the front for sure. Right now, Beckman in front of Zach Sikowski, and then Doug Gust chasing them down.
Boy, I would have to think this year with this track, visibility has got to be an issue. There's so much more water and mud, it seems like.
Let's check in on how hard it is with our trackside reporter, Chris Brandt.
Thanks, Tess. I'm standing down here in the most crucial part of this track. It is riddled with rocks and logs and tires. I cannot believe how technical this is. It's really opening up for some great passing.
And that's really interesting point, Paul. The fact that the passing area becomes the technical area. Gust gave Zach Sikowski a little bump, and look, he's stuck on the berm.
Stalled him on that, coming out of that mud pit. Like, it's so slick in there.
Oh, man. So that is a disaster for Doug Gust. Beckman and Zach Sikowski now are just starting to pull away from him. Right. It just showed you that one line everybody's trying to take out of the mud pit, and it just eats Doug Gust because he's trying to do the bump on Sikowski.
You know, we talked about the visibility thing. Look at how clean Rory Beckman is and how dirty everyone is behind him. How can you see?
I'm really impressed at Zach Sikowski, a third place podium finish in the side-by-side earlier, and now he is challenging Rory Beckman in this race, and he really looks comfortable.
He looks really good. Oh, looks like he's challenging.
He's going for it.
Rory sees him coming and cuts him. These guys are banging in the nastiest section of the track.
And look at this, through the rocks. And Sikowski's looking for a way past. Here we go.
Oh,
no!
Sikowski got in the backside of him, and it just flipped him right upside. Oh.
He is underneath that quad, and now he's trying to get it upright while Rory Beckman is just charging ahead over that finish line. Oh, no. 2 laps, 2 huge mistakes. And Zach Sikowski is going to have to work hard to get that back up. Let's see if he can get back in the race when we return to Terracross.
Mystic Lubricants Terracross Championship on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Mystic Lubricants, specially formulated for lubrication domination. Visit mysticlubes.com. And by the Polaris Razor.
Welcome back to Mystic Lubricants Terracross Championship and an incredibly exciting Fox Pro Stock Quad 4x4. This man, Rory Beckman, he has the look of the Irish, I would say.
He's looking right, tight, and out of sight. Clean gear. He's just out for a Sunday drive right now.
But the most amazing thing is that 2 mistakes, and big mistakes. Gust, first of all, running into the back of Sikowski right out of the water pit, and then Sikowski literally hitting the back tires of Beckman's machine and just getting spun.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's open wheel, so you kind of have to be careful. You don't want to be rubbing and.
But here's the amazing thing. He's got a commanding lead right now. However, as we have seen very clearly over seasons of racing, it ain't over till it's over. Oh, look.
That just shows you how gnarly it is down there.
Oh, it really is. We got Chris Brandt down at the side of the course. And Chris, let us know how intense this racing really looks close up.
Thanks, Tess. It's pretty amazing what these guys can do down here. The rocks are huge. And what's crazy is the water on top of the rocks and the logs and the tires are really causing some havoc for these guys.
And you can see the havoc there with Chris Gaynor. They can't even get him out of that rock section. Meanwhile, clean and mean, Rory Beckman is just whizzing off the front of this race, and he hasn't put a foot wrong so far.
The only havoc Rory Beckman is experiencing right now is the havoc he's throwing down on the track. He's just run away with this.
And look at 19-second lead over Doug Gust, who had problems himself, got back on the machine, finally got released out of that tire, water, and mud pit. And it's just amazing to me the way that Beckman, I think, is a bit of luck playing on his side, too, that nothing has happened to him. But being out in front really has to help.
Well, and, you know, I wonder how much training he's been. You know, he had a good start to the season. It didn't end up last year the way he wanted it to. And he's making a run for it already this year.
You really got to keep moving. You can see the mud on those rocks.
You bet.
But he's kind of taking this line where he goes around the side as he approaches that tire and water pit. So look at this on board. You can see a little bit of mud, though. He's not super clean like he was at the start of the race.
The nice smooth air you could see there off the finish line jump. It's still just crazy how much they air these things out. They're just, I mean, they're jumping, 50, 60 feet on a utility quad.
And fantastic how tough these machines are. They bring in stock machines to race these classes, and it's always amazing with this much punishment that they just race through so many laps.
It's impressive for sure. These things are tough as nails.
Oh, yes, they are. And Beckman now, he really is picking his way through this course.
It looks like, is that Gaynor still over there stuck in the mud?
Someone clearly not stuck is Rory Beckman. Chris, what are you seeing out of him?
With our leader, Rory Beckman, you can see he's really being careful on his line trace. He's got a big lead, but this could swallow you up at any time.
And that's what we keep saying, Paul, is one misstep. And see, I mean, not
For
easy
sure.
by any means
No,
coming through
absolutely
those
not.
rocks.
No, there's so many facets. There's fatigue, and there's, you want to make sure that your machine lasts, so you're trying to pick the smoothest lines possible. And apparently Rory's doing a bang-up job today.
He really is. He looks so fast. You see him gliding over that finish line there just to get the tires contact with the ground as soon as possible, because that's the power that propels you forward.
Exactly. He's looking awful good. Pulls a tear off. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be barely any mud on his goggles, but I did see him jump into the middle of that pit, and that obviously is going to splash some of that mud up, and he's almost gingerly picking his way through. He's not charging as hard as he was.
He's Terracross stuck on his shoulder.
There's all kinds of debris on this course just flying at him, and as we wind this race down, it has been certainly a great start to the season again for Rory Beckman. Won here last year in the opener, and looks like, and I'm cautious to say this, not to jinx him. It looks like he may do it again this year, and Gaynor he's just parked for the day.
He's hanging out now just he's a spectator.
Watch this. You see how deep it is, but he likes that line. He was jumping into the middle of the pit last time. Ooh.
Boy, look at how you have momentum in that section is everything. They're carrying tires
who brought
out.
this tire out of the pit? I have absolutely no idea. Rory Beckman takes the win in our Fox Pro Quad Series, and Doug Gust fighting all of the way to the finish for that second place. And look at that. There is Daryl Wrath. You just saw Daryl Wrath coming out of the pit. He is riding for points. He knows he wasn't in contention. Smart move, because last year this series went right down to the wire. So
he's obviously not feeling 100%. Those points are just so ever important.
What a tough race. This thing just amazes me.
Zakowski's trying to make a move, gets a little aggressive. Wow.
And it lands right on top of him. I mean, just incredible. And then he couldn't even get it back up right, and it just allowed Rory Beckman to run off the front and claim another win.
Wow.
To start out the season. And there you see Daryl Wrath hung on for 5th place points, which will be really important in this championship. But the jump start on the championship is Rory Beckman, Misha.
All right, congratulations, Rory, on an awesome race. And I say that because you make this look so easy, and everyone knows that it's an extremely challenging course, what you're doing. So first of all, talk a little bit about the track.
The track is extremely brutal this weekend. You know, Joe's got a good set of obstacles here set up for us, and you know, one thing that always comes into play is just keeping your momentum and staying as smooth as possible through that stuff.
So you got the whole shot, you kept the lead all the way through, but there was some drama going on behind you. Do you see what's going on around you, or are you just so focused on going forward? What was going on?
Definitely focused on moving forward as much as possible, but I did notice Zach was right on me there, and then of course when I came around the corner I saw him tipped over there. I knew Doug was up there early on too, and I didn't see what happened to him, so it's just kind of, you know, whatever you end up seeing.
We expected some good racing here at ERX Motor Park today, and we got great racing, Paul.
Absolutely. We had a little bit of we had some sideways, some upside down, some good passing, and we saw some guys emerge that were just ripping fast.
Ripping fast, that's the story of the emerging RJ Anderson, his first season in Terracross, and he dominated this race, start to finish, a great win for him.
And once again, 2 years in a row, Rory Beckman comes out and wins the Pro Quad.
So join us again Sunday night, September 1st for more Terracross, where it's rough, tough, and muddy, as proven by Zach Sikowski. For Paul Thacker and Misha Johnson, I'm Tess Sewell. We'll see you next time.